Great. Next, we'll go to Brenda Goodman with WebMD.
Hi, good morning. I have a question about Texas. Yesterday, Governor Greg Abbott said that he was going to lift the mask mandate and open the state up 100%. And we know that now that all the variants have been found in Houston, according to some researchers who were part of a large genomic sequencing effort there. So I'm wondering, do you agree with the governor's assessment that it's time to open the state up 100%?
Well, let me begin with Dr. Walensky to talk about the CDC's perspective, and then I'll add some comments.
Thank you for the question. I think we at the CDC have been very clear that now is not the time to release all restrictions. I do think that, as I said in my remarks, the next month or two is really pivotal in terms of how this pandemic goes. As we scale up vaccination, we really do need to decrease the amount of virus that is circulating as we're trying to vaccinate all of the public. I will also note that, every individual is empowered to do the right thing here, regardless of what the states decide for personal health, for public health, for their health of their loved ones and communities. I would still encourage individuals to wear a mask, to socially distance, and to do the right thing to protect their own health.
Let me just follow that up. The president is committed to a few things. One is to follow the recommendation of the science and the scientists, and wherever that goes. And so the president is 100% behind Dr. Walensky and the CDC's recommendations. I don't think you could possibly be any clearer about the importance and the need for masks. As a leader, it's probably one of the topics he talks about most frequently. He models that behavior. He's made the order on every possible area where we have federal control, all the federal sites and facilities, transportation. And of course, last week we announced that we're going to be distributing masks to community health centers and food banks. We think it's critically important that particularly over the next period of time, this is not forever, but the next period of time when the president has called for this, we know that it can save tens of thousands of lives if people do this. And we strongly encourage people to continue to wear masks, and mayors, governors, and others recognizing that they have difficult decisions to make to keep the course. Next question.
Next question, Sabrina Siddiqui at Wall Street Journal.
Thank you, as always, for doing the briefing. I wanted to ask if you have a sense of when Merck will actually be able to ramp up production in terms of helping with the J&J vaccine, given the time it will take for the company to convert its facilities. And do we know how many doses Merck will be able to help manufacture?
Yeah, thanks, Sabrina. I think the answer is May. And again, there are two elements. There is the substance of the vaccine itself, and then there's fill finish. So it's a bit more of a complex answer, but over time, we believe that Merck will be able to double the capacity that we've seen from Johnson & Johnson heretofore. Next question.
Next, we'll go to Kristen Welker at NBC.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for doing this call. Really appreciate it. Wanted to follow up on the question about Texas. It's not just Texas that is easing restrictions. It's also other states like Mississippi, Arkansas, North Carolina, Virginia. So is there anything that the federal government can do? Is there anything that your team is looking to do to try to encourage, if not mandate, that these states reverse course? And also in terms of the May benchmark as it relates to distributing the vaccine, what are the potential headwinds that could derail that timeline? In other words, what are you concerned about most when you look to that end of May goal?
Thank you, Kristen. I think we have the same answer with regard to what our view on masks and what the president is saying and doing on masks. And so, I think we are using the absolute full extent of all of the areas where we have federal control, and we are actively being very, very clear on what we think needs to happen. And so we hope that other elected officials who have the authority in their domains will in fact listen. We're realistic enough to recognize that everybody's not going to pay attention to everything we say, but we think this is very, very important. In terms of Johnson and Johnson and Merck, I'm going to probably defer that question to the company. I think we have a good plan. I will tell you, we always worry about everything. I mean, it's sort of part of our ethic around here is execution mentality means that we are constantly worried. So anything that has yet to happen in the future, I can assure you we have world experts from manufacturing, from the Department of Defense, and from the companies, all very focused on this. I don't know that I could point to one specific thing.